Suicide Squad, making it rain. The commish checking out of Justice League. And will Wonder Woman be playing for both teams? Let's find out.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's DC Movie News.
Like, how do you make it rain?
You're
what was that?
making it rain.
Oh. The rain's coming out of that?
You're making it rain, you know, when you're at the club with the ladies. You're doing this.
Dollar bills, y'all.
When I'm at the club with those clubs, I take the roll of quarters and I'm like throwing
making
the roll
it hail?
of quarters, making it hail.
Oh my God, making it hail.
Making it hail. They put that in their little bathing suit and it's jingling around.
Bruising people.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, here we are. Another episode of DC Movie News with the ladies. It's Mike and the ladies.
Oh, yes, it's ladies' night. Oh, with the mic.
And I'm feeling right. Oh, yes, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a night.
I'm really glad that we have you here today because our news is lacking this week, so we need some color in here. And here
I bring the color. Just kidding.
I meant like your purple hair.
No, I knew what you meant.
I knew what you meant.
No matter what I say, something will be taken.
No, that's usually me, but I'm glad you took the reins of that today.
No, like we need the brightness.
No,
we need the love.
That's what this is here for. And I want to talk about two kinds of love today.
Yeah.
With that Wonder Woman stuff.
Hey.
What's going on, everybody?
Well, a lot's going on. We've got some good stuff, actually.
Should we go right into it, or we got some? Let's talk. Who are we? Who we got going here? Throw ourselves over.
Oh, you sound like Johnny too much.
I sound like Johnny too
I know,
much?
that did sound like Johnny
Did
for
I?
a split
I
second.
think it's put yourself over, though. I think throw yourself over.
Isn't it the end, though? I always mess this up. I start strong, and then I just go downhill from there.
Do you ever hear his wrestling shows? It's like...
I never... Like, I've watched his wrestling shows, but I always forget how he does his structure.
Put yourself over.
I would like... Let's introduce the crew.
Yeah, that's good.
There you go. Yeah, put yourself over. Thank you.
And I want to introduce the crew. Who we got? We got a guest star joining us on the end. Everyone, you guys know her though. Everyone that watches the show knows her. Our resident Harley Quinn aficionado.
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks, Puddin'.
Oh.
Hey guys, Alexis Torres. I know it's been a while because I've been real busy doing my own squad stuff. You can find me where all shenanigans will ensue at atorres890.
Is that what we call what you've been doing? Your own squad stuff?
I love shenanigans.
Yes.
Oh, shenanigans are the best.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what I meant by squad stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I don't.
Well, maybe you're just left out at the guy's side of the table.
Yeah, sorry.
Ladies taking over.
I'm okay with that.
Guys,
And speaking of ladies taking over.
are you going to call me the crown jewel? Go ahead. Let
No,
it
I'm
out.
not going to do it now.
Good, go
I'm in
ahead.
charge. I'm in this seat. I'm in this seat.
You are in that seat. You are.
Here she is, the
You're
girl
rocking
that's
that seat.
in charge of the. She's the girl in the DC movie news. I was gonna say it. I was gonna say the sparkling crown jewel
He added something. Oh, snap.
of DC movie news.
Sparkling.
Roxy Striar.
Hey guys, I'm Roxy Striar. You can find me
Yes, you
everywhere
are.
at Roxy Striar. I miss where all Alexis Torres are sold, though. I miss.
I
I miss
I've been changing it up. I'm trying new things. I'm experimenting.
Maybe I'll be where all Roxy Striars are sold.
Yeah, do
That's
it.
where you can find
well,
me.
no, there's only one because you're the best. So maybe
Oh,
not.
hey.
You'd be like the exclusive edition.
Guys,
Yeah,
we might be
limited
getting a surprise visit from somebody else at some point in this show, too.
We'll leave
Maybe
it.
we'll
Let's
cross
see
our
what
fingers.
happens.
Oh, and also, everybody, make sure you send your love to Adam Gertler.
Aw,
he
it
wishes,
sucked.
Yeah, he had a death in the family,
Yeah.
and he could use some love.
Love
So make
you,
sure you
Adam.
tweet at him at Adam Gertler.
Stuff always sucks.
Yeah, I know. But he's back home. He gets to be with his family, at least. That's nice that he got to go home.
Yeah.
And on a lighter note, who's leading this show right now?
That's
Oh.
me at Mike Kalinowski.
No, what's your thing?
Mike Kalinowski.
He's an actor
The DC
extraordinaire, and he's the DC Encyclopedia.
Yes, he
it's
is.
Mike Kalinowski.
Hey,
That
it's
was
me.
really good, Roxy.
Mikey
Thanks.
Christmas.
Mikey Christmas it is.
ho, ho,
ho, ho, ho. Christmas is
Yeah.
coming.
All right.
Christmas is
I'm
coming.
so excited.
Now I think we can get into
Now we
it.
can go into the news.
Yeah, well, this is the making it rain
Oh,
part of the
this
news.
started the show. It's
so
Suicide
excited.
Squad is kind of wrapping up its theatrical run, but it's still in theaters because there's not that much out right now. But it surpassed Man of Steel's box office take.
Oh.
And I read a lot of articles on it, and it's interesting because they're talking about it's weird because they're saying it's such a bad year for movies so far, 2016. It was a weak summer, but financially, it's one of the best that it's ever been. So it's weird. They're saying that the numbers are not reflecting the quality of movie we were getting.
This is so
And
strange.
I'm confused.
It is. It's one of the weird anomalies. I mean, I don't really understand Suicide Squad. If somebody had said to me 5 years ago, "There's going to be a Man of Steel movie," and a Suicide Squad movie. And the Suicide Squad movie is going to get a 20-something on Rotten Tomatoes, and the Man of Steel one is going to get like a 70-something.
Right.
Who do you think makes more money? I mean, obviously you would say Man of Steel.
I mean, but it's hard to
Superman
say because group usually like big ensemble movies usually do a little better.
Yeah, but if you had said Justice League maybe, but nobody even knew who Suicide Squad were. That wasn't even on anybody's radar.
True. Underdogs, I guess.
Superman to me is always such a tough sell by himself. He is. He's just a tough sell. I have no explanations for what happened with this film.
How could you call Superman a tough sell? I know you're more of a Batman guy, but I don't think Superman is a tough sell. Superman is the biggest hero of all time.
I agree. I think you take that Superman symbol, you put it anywhere, and it's right up there with the cross, as people know exactly who this person is.
Yes.
But look at his films. Superman Returns did not, do as well as they wanted. Man of Steel didn't do what they wanted. It hasn't done what they expect a Superman to do.
So maybe they don't make as much money, but tough sell?
I don't know.
Maybe
it's
they
tough.
haven't made the... it's just interesting to me. I just never would have thought in a million years that a movie called Suicide Squad...
Right, that to me, in the title and everything.
Everything. But the fact that it's past Man of Steel with such crappy reviews is really...
And Man of Steel had great reviews. They were decisive, but... Man of Steel is a very well done film. Where this movie, there is the problems with the editing, and you do see the hands at work behind the scenes with Suicide Squad with certain tones, and it's kind of all over the place at certain points of that movie, especially the last 30 minutes of that film.
Did you
But people
enjoy
liked it.
Man of Steel more than you did Suicide Squad, or vice versa?
Vice versa for me. Mostly just because it was nice to see a Harley on screen for me, so that took me out. And also, I really liked seeing Will Smith back in his element, kind of, because I felt like he was the shining star in that movie. For me, though. That's my opinion, though. And
I love that we've been trained to do that as hosts.
I can't.
For me, my personal opinion, nobody attack me. Like, that's for me.
I mean, like, I know a lot of people were like, Alexis, Harley Quinn, how'd you feel? And I was like, to be honest, I really didn't have an issue with it. I just don't. One thing I took away from that movie was I hated that there were like teenage girls behind me who were like oohing and ahhing at Joker Harley relationships, and I was like,
hashtag relationship goals for everybody on the internet.
That, do they? That's not a goal to have.
It drives me insane. There was a girl actually who came up after me because I was wearing a Harley Quinn, the Daddy's Little Monster shirt, and she's like, "Oh man, I've seen you talk about DC stuff on your YouTube channel. Man, you must have loved this film, and I can't wait to tell my boyfriend we're gonna dress up as Harley and Joker." And I'm like, wait. How old are you? I'm 12. It hurts my soul.
I see part of it because there's this the DC was, I don't know the exact name, but it's the line of girls, superheroes where it's DC does it right now, and they've got the Wonder Woman, Bumblebee, Harley Quinn,
yes,
and it's all the
DC
young
girls or something like that.
And I could
the
see where
series.
if the girls see that
DC Supergirl,
something like that.
and
which I'm
see
fine
if
with
they
that.
See
I would
that
tell
version of Harley.
Yeah,
I get that.
She's a teenager. Like
Right,
I get that.
right.
She hasn't even hit that psychopathic
right
yet.
So
she's like, well, you love Harley Quinn, why can't I? I'm like, I'm not saying you can't love her.
Right.
I'm just
maybe
saying
they want to dress as Harley, Dr. Quinzel. Like
that's
maybe
fine.
that's what they're.
I think that's
Harley
great, and I'm
in.
not trying to like break that up.
Right.
I just don't want them to aim for a relationship like Joker and
it's
Harley.
almost like if they're going in that little dressing like she does on that, and that's
No,
great.
like
But if she's dressing in the Daddy's Little Monster damaged tattoos, then it's like, you know where this comes from.
But she used the phrase that she wants relationship goals
and
like
that's
Joker
The
and Harley.
bigger question is the chat is from Matthew Leach, who says a 12-year-old with a boyfriend.
Hey man, they're getting younger and younger.
Good point.
No, it's true. My
Good
My
point.
brother is 15 and he's had a girlfriend since he was 11.
That's
DC
a-
superhero
year.
girls, by the way.
Thank you,
guys.
whoever got that.
Thank you.
And that's a whole topic for a whole other show and conversation.
They went
with that.
together to this movie. That's how
Yeah.
I met them both.
No parents?
No parents,
No
just the two of
supervision?
them. Nope.
They were
Was it
probably
making out in the back?
rowdy, yeah.
Making
No,
out,
but I
sure
also
they
saw
were.
parents bringing like their small
Oh, I
children
saw
to
that,
Suicide
too.
Squad or Deadpool or any of those superhero
I
movies.
I
And
think
I'm like,
people got what it was.
See, part of me, and I not to go off topic,
No, of
but
course
talking
not.
about that
I
with
agree.
people and kids, I think that just comes from movies nowadays are so expensive. It's expensive to hire a babysitter.
No, I get
You're
it.
kind of
No, I
and I
totally
try not to get
understand.
upset, but when I'm at a midnight showing and there's children,
I'm like, why?
Go to the 8 o'clock.
You have school the
I
next
know,
day, or
but I
something.
get our society and what we are, and
and
I'm glad that they're going to the theater and paying to see it in the theater.
Oh, it's
I love
fantastic.
that they're not waiting to see it downloaded
But
pirated copy.
Also, do your research though. Don't bring your child, like a little kid, to like. Again, I'm not trying to boost Marvel here, but Deadpool is definitely not.
No.
I think like when I went to go see Killing Joke, there was a ton of children, and I was like, ah.
Don't you think you would Google anything that has the word dead, killing, or suicide in the title?
Well,
Deadpool,
apparently-
That to me
Killing
is-
Joke, Suicide
That
Squad.
to me is a
Like,
parental
dead
thing
giveaway.
that is just.
But I've also met parents that are like, well, I want my kids to not be sheltered. I'm like, there's a difference between like you can show this in your own home than you like going out to a giant giant theater and being like, look at all these people hooting and hollering at tits, like that kind of stuff. Sorry.
You know me, I'm not one to shy away from my opinion, but when it comes to parenting, being that I'm not a parent, I do not. I see the struggles with my friends that have kids, but I don't. I think that's a whole thing. I am like, I have no idea what you guys deal with, and hats off to you guys that deal with that.
I mean, and I
And the
completely
fights and
But
anyway, speaking of Suicide Squad, real quick, it's not in our breakdown because it came out yesterday. Shia LaBeouf was up for a role, and he was talking about because he is friends with Ayer because they did Fury together.
Yeah.
But he had said he went in front of Warner Brothers, and they were kind of like, yeah, no, we like you, you're talented, but no, you're. It almost felt like
the
that.
tone would have been different if Shia LaBeouf was in it. No,
Like, just do it.
yeah, I mean, like he did really good in Fury. I loved him in that.
He was
but
great in
He's a
Fury.
great actor.
Yeah,
I
but
think he's so freaking
recently,
talented.
He has had
can't-
that off the wagon.
I can't see it.
And apparently he was up for the role they think that Scott Eastwood was doing. That is what the rumors.
So no role.
Yeah, basically.
I mean,
And
yeah, 'cause he
apparently
wasn't really
he
in
said
it,
he said
so-
seeing the movie,
Right,
his role, Will Smith's Deadshot role from the original script that he read. Will Smith's, once he got cast in Deadshot, that Deadshot role got beefed up, and his role with Rick Flag got taken down.
Do you feel like he maybe could have played Boomerang?
No.
I think.
He's
I
too
mean,
young.
Because of age?
I think he's too young.
yeah, that makes sense. He does look like.
And
a
he's
young
looked
buck.
at.
That'd
You
be
got to think
weird.
about it. I was reading this great article about nowadays filmmakers and TV shows especially, and movies too. There's so much money invested in these projects that they are looking for actors that, yes, they're good actors, but are not problematic. Because you're on a budget, you're spending billions of dollars. You have to hit every day. You got to get this done. You can't be worrying about drama and is he going to go nuts?
There
I
are
think this is
so
Warner
many
Brothers.
talented actors
Right.
out there
Yeah,
that you should just pick somebody reliable.
Yeah, and I think with
agree.
him that was Warner, and he even said he was the one telling this. Warner Brothers just said, "No, we like you, you're talented, but not for you."
No,
Right.
I can.
So I
can
think
see
that's the
that.
way going. Nah, we're not dealing with the drama.
Yeah. There was
So-
something else on our rundown, too, or not on our rundown, that I know you wrote to us about this
Yeah,
morning.
this happened this morning. That now we've talked about this on the show. I think you and I are on the same page with the Booster Gold film. This has been up there.
I was like, hasn't
It
it
almost
just been
seems
up in the ether?
it's like
I
that.
don't even know what's happening.
Captain
with
Marvel or Shazam, whatever they want to call it,
Yeah.
and Cyborg are the three that are like, especially Booster Gold and Shazam. We're like.
Yeah.
What's going on? And they keep talking about it. We're
Swervy
doing this.
swerve, so
well,
swerve,
Berlanti,
swerve.
who's in charge of it, Berlanti, he has said that it's going forward, but does not have connective tissue to the DCEU.
Yeah,
And that was the
He
word.
says, as of right now, we have no connective tissue to those worlds. It'd be a separate thing. And this is when his interview with Vulture.
Now, to me, first I was like,
That's
oh,
rough.
it's a separate film. This is going to be weird. But then it's that word connective tissue where I'm like, because as we know, Suicide Squad tied right into BVS.
Mm-hmm.
It ties into Justice League. That's all. That's the connective tissue. It's that talking where they're mentioned. Maybe it's just taking place in a separate city. They're not going to reference Batman, Superman, and that world. Maybe that's what they mean. But it's still.
I don't think they know exactly what they mean yet, but I do think that it is sad that in the last 2 weeks, even somebody like Berlanti, but I was talking about the Rock's person who was talking about Shazam,
Oh, yeah.
that everybody's like, we see what you've done there with the DC films. We will not have any connectivity with them because that's what the DC films, the reception is, you know what it is. So now we're going to go over here and divide ourselves and space ourselves. Even Berlanti, who is so involved in this world.
knows this stuff
Right. And involved in the TV universe and all of these things as a producer, for him to be like this early on to state there's no connective tissue, like nothing's connecting. It's tough.
I don't know. I think I was gonna say. I was like, I feel like you're kind of already
It just.
between a rock and a hard place, and you're trying to make a film with it.
He just
Right.
of the characters out there, he screams of the TV universe.
Right.
He
Yeah.
screams of Legends of Tomorrow, traveling back in time.
Yeah.
Or maybe because they do it already with the Wave Rider and all that we already tried time travel. We don't need another version of that. Booster Gold Blue Beetle just is such a great fit for TV.
Yeah.
A movie, they're sidekicks, comic
I thought-
relief. They need to be salt and pepper on the steak.
No, I was gonna say I thought it was strange that they went straight for the big screen instead of starting out with doing a TV show.
And they said to the TV universe, "Hey, you guys can't have them."
which is so strange to me. I don't understand. I mean, like, I'm all for, you know, go big or go home. Like, that's fine. But I also think that this would be a good idea to start small and then maybe
Not
get
go
up there.
home.
Yeah, there you go. I'll take that.
Go small, stay out.
Remind me when we get to TV time to talk about whether you can have them, you can't have them stuff that you just said.
Okay.
Remind me at the end of the show.
Okay.
Can't have it.
But yeah, so you guys, guess out there and the ether out there, it's as good as ours. We have no clue. I don't know. I'm not
It's
clamoring.
so up in the air.
I
It's
love
kinda
those
weird.
characters are so good together, but it's like Booster Gold by himself is. Blue Beetle, they're the team. It's always so good when they're together.
Do you think it's because Johnny's schedule is so busy? That,
Maybe.
Yeah.
I
that
was
must be
thinking
Or
why.
maybe
that,
that's
yeah.
why he's not here. He's
Yeah.
in talks.
Yeah.
Probably just
That connective
meetings
tissue,
all day.
yeah.
Connective tissue. It's all Johnny. Johnny is the
Connective tissue.
Well, should we move on from that? Because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
going to get
Sure,
upsetting,
sure.
I think. I don't know.
But this next bit you have to do. Oh no, that's a little bit. I wanted an accent.
Okay, we'll do a little bit later if we got accents. So J.K. Simmons, he just finished wrapping Justice League, talking about how much fun he had. He said he's only in a couple scenes. He's got the Batman scene, and he's with the League. And I think because that press event, they saw them filming that scene of the League on the rooftop. He talked about how great a filmmaker Sneider is, and just like he said, he created the atmosphere of a family. And I think that's very evident in all the stuff we've seen of the team.
Yeah, I was gonna say anytime that all the Comic-Con stuff and
Yeah.
any of the time that they're all together, they just look like they've bonded really well together.
Something interesting about this, because I think it was it last week we were on the show, all of us, where we talked about Suicide Squad wrapping, and people said it's wrapped, and we were like, no, or Justice League hasn't wrapped yet.
Right.
And they're still filming, because he even says in the article, he's like, the team is still over there filming in London, I'm done.
But he specifically is there.
But he's done. But this goes back to Deathstroke, and they're all saying, like, the rap and El Mambe said, he's the Batman villain, but they're not finished filming Justice League, so that picture of him on set, Deathstroke, I think he's still part of Justice League. I think
Deathstroke?
Yeah.
Remember we talked about last
Right.
week, we think he'll be introduced, and everyone's like, nope, this is pre-thing for Batman. It's like, well, Justice League is still filming. They're not working on Batman right now. Why would they build a costume?
Maybe to swerve.
Maybe.
I
yeah.
think he's in Justice League
I
as
don't
a tease.
I
As
don't
a tease.
disagree with you. I don't disagree.
Little
with you.
beginning,
And I said that
like
last week too.
what's it called? Like they do in Batman. They used to, not Batman, the old James Bond films where they had the little prologue
Yeah.
of just him arresting someone, beating someone up. So that was kind of cool. But he talked great about his cast.
He did. He talked really nice about everybody. Anything he says, I just love him. I love the way he
Yeah.
handles himself. I love him on screen. I love how he is so positive, and especially coming off of Suicide Squad, where a lot of the performers were particularly negative. I'm looking at you, Jared Leto. It's nice to hear actors speak well about something, and obviously this hasn't come yet, so
But-
we don't know
and
how
that's
the
too-
results will
like
be.
that,
Where you hear the people talk, not like Leto, Eisenberg, they never talk bad about the crew or the director or the cast.
They talk about their character.
It's the character and what the final result was.
Well, I mean, I think
And it's
saying
interest- that says a
I think
lot.
saying we left a lot on the cutting room floor, and it's not exactly how I would have done it,
Right.
and there should have been more of me, is talking about the crew. That is
Okay.
talking about the
No,
editors and the
that's-
director.
But, like,
and-
here's a great thing.
No,
like
you have a
James
point.
Gunn
You have a
recently
point.
just tweeted out. He is so good on Twitter with his fans. There is a character, and he felt bad. He's like, "There's nothing worse than cutting an actor out of a film." So he's editing his film. There's a whole character out of
James Wan?
Guardians. James Gunn. He's
Oh,
Guardian.
okay.
He's editing it right now. He cut a whole character out. And he even tweeted on Twitter. He's like, "This is the worst thing I have to do. I hate doing this." So for the betterment of the film, yes, someone's Joker might look great, and he's doing great, but the overall picture, if it doesn't fit,
I completely
we
agree.
have to take it out.
I mean,
I completely agree with you. All I'm
mean-
saying is it's nice to hear somebody say something
Yes,
positive.
I
mean,
see.
you
I
guys
went
know
up on
how
a
much
little.
I love Harley and Joker alone. I mean, that's the one thing that I probably have been telling people the most is we didn't need Joker in that movie. But that's me.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just
Well,
You're
I
right.
certainly didn't think we needed more of him. I thought that we
no,
got
we got a good amount. I didn't feel like I needed more.
And I think maybe part of that is the fact that Ayer and them news, like, he's not going anywhere. He will have another chance to
Yeah.
shine as the Joker. So
Yeah, there's plenty of times. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he'll be okay.
but on the set that they were talking about with the Justice League, the team, they had a cool little message. They're doing this kind of awareness thing for Respect Our Water. The whole team, we had the whole league together. Sans Superman. Again, not there in that shot.
He's dead, remember?
I know that, but not really. But we know.
No, he's dead.
Spoiler for anyone.
dead, Jim. He's dead.
But they had that cool little thing of them together. Someone made a really funny joke, cute little joke. It was they said they kind of doing like the old Power Rangers did, where in their civilian outfits they kind of are dressed like their characters, and it's true. Affleck's in the black, Momoa's shirtless, he was in red, the Flash.
Yo, respect our water.
Well, respect. He did the Aquaman symbol.
Yeah.
At the end.
Kind of
there.
reminded me of like Hove for a second, you know.
Hove?
Like,
Yeah.
I don't get that reference. What is it?
Jay-Z, yeah.
Jay-Z?
It's a
Making it rain?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Making it rain.
If Undergarment was here, it'd be like millennials.
Yeah.
But so you guys saw that video, right? It was cute.
Yeah.
Cute little
Yeah,
thing.
it was cute.
I think they did that on instead of BVS. They did the whole ice bucket challenge for that, and then the Star Trek crew does Omaze. That kind of I love
like
how
that
it's
they're
getting awareness
using-
out there. Yeah, because how many millions of people follow these films?
The other
Did you
one
s-
that they did, the
The crew, the DC crew,
yeah, it was when they were filming BVS and they
the water bucket challenge, right? The ice bucket.
No, that was an ice bucket. That was
Oh, the bats. Save the Bats.
Oh.
It was on the it was on the
yeah.
Blu-ray. It was the Save the Bats.
yes,
They
yes,
all
yes.
built those bat homes. For
Yeah.
them.
But I like
Yeah.
that. But I also like. I mean, going back to doing campaigns, like if I think they did an update on the ice bucket challenge for that. That they raised so
Oh
much
my
money that
God,
they
like-
actually were able to get enough of the
Everyone-
materials that they needed.
Everyone was talking. I was like, "Oh, do these really work?" So then they it's like, "Yes, that whole big push got
Yeah, we had all the research. We had a bunch. It
went beyond what they needed for the funding, so it
Exactly.
worked. It
Yeah.
was really cool.
So I'm hoping that
I
they
mean,
continue
every
to do that.
Big movie at the time, BVS. I know, remember Mission Impossible. The crew did it for that. It's like everyone did it, which is cool.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
You know, they talk always.
Yes,
it's
save the
always
bats.
about like celebrities getting involved with politics and this and that, but it's like this is celebrities doing something that
they're making it rain.
Yes,
Literally.
actually, literally.
Literally.
Speaking of making it rain, I don't know about how this next one. I've tried to segue into it, but I realized
You're skipping over the Aquaman Australia one? I wanted to hear your Australian accent.
Oh yeah, I was
did.
wondering what you were going to
I
say.
timed
about
right
that.
from Justice League into the Justice League water.
It's because you knew.
Speaking of water, Aquaman, King of
go.
the Seven Seas.
But
He's filming
in what voice? is
He's
that?
filming in Australia. G'day, mate. Throw another shrimp on the barbie.
Oh, look at you! I
It's
liked
good, it's
that.
good.
I think that's all I know.
What do you think that means that they're filming in Australia next summer and then in London? Should that say anything to us about?
I think Johnny might have written that wrong. I think Aquaman is Australia, Flash is London. I could be wrong, guys. If you're
I
reading
was
that
gonna say,
article,
what are the multiple locations? Let's
no,
see.
I think he's filming in Aquaman's filming in Australia, which I don't know the studio down there. I know Fox Roadshow has a huge studio down there. Is that where they film Mad Max? Or
Oh,
did
it
they,
says-
they were gonna film Justice League Mortal, that George Miller.
No, they're
Film.
also filming in London.
For
In
Aquaman.
addition to spending
Then-
time at the Warner Brothers studio stage in London.
Because I think I was going to say I think
Could
Warner
it
Brothers
be-
has a studio out there.
Wait, now let's put two and
that's
two together.
according to Daily Telegraph.
Let's put two and two together. Justice League is filming in London. The sets are still there. Maybe some Atlantis stuff is still there.
That makes sense.
Instead of
Yeah.
having to rebuild it in Australia.
Well, yeah,
There we
it seems
go.
cost-
2 is 4.
Yeah, might as well
Ah.
spend the money for going to London instead of actually, you guys, rebuilding.
So
them
they
in
go to
there.
film in London. And then you have a shrimp on a bar. I can't do the two. I confuse the two. I confuse the two.
It's tough.
That
Life
was
is
beautiful,
tough.
though. You were getting there. That was great.
It can be hard sometimes.
God, I was watching the Batman Nolan trilogy again this past week.
Cal L in the chat says Mad Max was filmed in Africa. I have no idea.
Really?
I don't know if that's
Mad
completely
Max
true.
Fury
but-
Road was in Africa?
I don't know.
That's news to
That's
me, but
awesome.
hey, all right. Okay, so now can I skip down to, we finished that, right?
Yep.
That's all you want to talk about with that was my Australian accent for him
Yeah.
filming in Australia.
Yeah, pretty much.
From the thunder from down under. G'day, mate. No? I didn't ever claim to have a good Australian
Started
accent.
strong. You
no.
did
I
start
was
strong.
just talking about Thunder Down Under in Vegas. Not a fan.
Oh, is it
Yeah.
a male review show?
Well, no,
Is
I
that
mean,
what they call them?
Male reviews, isn't it?
I have no idea. I would rather see women. So.
Oh. Speaking of, if you might see women and you might see men,
Oh, good segue.
will Wonder Woman be bisexual in the film? Now, this is nothing has come from the set. No talk has happened from
So,
set.
This was
Rox.
just an article from Movie Pilot that was posing an interesting question. It says Wonder Woman is an LGBT icon, but will the 2017 movie reveal her bisexuality?
But I think it's interesting because I know a lot of people like what you asked earlier, where you're like, is Wonder Woman like, because a lot of people, I told people, because I shared it, and a lot of people are like, I don't remember ever hearing that. And it just, if you look at the examples that they put, it's just random comics where it talks about it.
And I think, I could be wrong, but Amazons are all...
I mean, there's only
it's
women.
It's a sisterhood.
There's
it
only
is a
women on the island, guys.
We will call it a sisterhood.
Yeah.
And then she meets man. She knows of men. They know of men, I assume.
Yes.
I don't think it's a question. I think they
But
are.
in what in the movie
that's
do
the
we
thing,
feel like
I
we would
don't-
see it? And if
No.
we did see it, in what way would we see it?
Although Hippolyta says, "You are my greatest love," to her daughter. Not anything with that, but she never says that the lover that gave her, Zeus was her greatest love. It is her daughter is her greatest love. And I think these women
Have love for other women.
It's this love of these women of not just a sexual. I could be.
I mean, that's a
I'm speaking, guys. I'm the guy in this
mother-daughter
panel speaking about this. So again, take this with a grain of salt.
I think that maybe we might see her not involved with another woman, but maybe just appreciate women and have like a few comments, a couple of things like of respect, calling people beautiful or anything like that.
There could be some comedy between her and Etta Candy in the scenes where maybe she touches her in a certain way, and Etta's like, "Oh, this is awkward," and Wonder Woman doesn't think anything of it. This is just how women are on our island. Think about it. And set in World War I, that's rife for awkwardness and comedy and showing an Amazon's culture with our culture.
Right.
I think it's cool.
As a bisexual myself, I understand having, especially in media, trying to throw that out there, especially with big icons.
Like
I understand.
Star Trek did with the whole. We gotta throw it out there.
Yeah, like I understand that. I've never actually seen physical evidence of stuff. I mean, she's talked about it, kind of, but it's mostly just. It's just her, like how you've said, just a great love with a sisterhood. So in my aspect, I'd rather just see her. I don't need to see a movie of her falling in love with anybody, male or female.
Right.
She is a badass character who's here to save the world. I'd rather just keep it at that.
I think...
If you want to throw it in there, sure. But as a person who's like, I've already seen what bisexual on screen looks like. I'm good.
Would you want to see her romantically invested in a man, or do you just not want to see her romance at all?
That's fine, because we all know that Wonder Woman has fallen in love with people before. I don't care if they do show it or not. I don't think it needs to be forced, especially with a woman.
And watching the trailer, her interactions with Steve Trevor, it is very much like awkward first girl being like in the dance scene with him, and it's awkward. And I think that works because she's probably never had a man come on to her before.
Well, before maybe, but I also thought that because we've only seen trailer of that, I also thought her interactions with Ben Affleck with Batman were kind of
she was being sultry, but she's also learned that on the island as well.
Yeah,
and man's ruled for 100 years at that point. We have to remember that
because
she knows how to use her sexuality.
In a man's world.
Man's world.
You just.
That's the term.
Nothing.
But speaking of the comics, real quick on Rebirth, talk about Wonder Woman. No, I nipped that in the bud. Wonder Woman right now in the comics is so good, the Rebirth, because it's like it ships every week. And bi-weekly, it is about her current day, and the other 2 weeks is her kind of origin.
Yeah.
But she has a relationship with Cheetah right now, where she's trying to help her beat this, and it's so, like, it's a love relationship, but it's like this sisterhood.
Yeah.
And it's so good.
But
so
again,
check
like
Wonder Woman, the comic out right now.
The question is, I know that a lot of people are just like, so she can fall in love with a man but not a woman. I'm like, I'm not saying that.
No, I think she could.
She can do whatever she wants. That's up to the writers and the directors, but I'm not going to sit there, get on my soapbox and be like, she's falling in love with a man. Like, I don't give two craps.
It's not about her love story.
It's not about her love story. It's about her bringing her origin onto the big screen so that you can see it. And that's the reason why I love her, is because she was taught and raised to just be a warrior, period.
And it's interesting, because I'm of a mind, I'm kind of like, why they feel the need to hire a female director for these female superheroes, just like why can't we have a female director direct male superhero films that male-led? Like, why couldn't we have a female in charge of Man of Steel 2? But now seeing that, thinking about that, you women have a completely different perspective than men. There's this whole thing of women and men want to be equal.
Yeah.
And we should have equality. But I think of this one side is like, I don't want you women to be equal to me, because you guys are so much stronger in other ways than we as men will never be. That's what makes us compatible and different.
Yeah.
It's like, so to have a woman in charge of that stuff, she'll bring stuff that as a guy we won't even think about. like for us, it's like, oh, it's a woman in a
You
film.
say she, you're talking about Patty?
Patty Jenkins, or a female director, the girl that's
Right.
directing, they're looking for a female for Captain Marvel. You know, you guys have such a different perspective that a male directing by a male script, it's like this and this is, it's a male love interest, but the female will come at it from a different perspective. She won't think of the love interest in this way. She'll just be making great choices, and I think that's so great.
Every person will come at it from a different perspective. So not
Sure.
just men or women, every
Yeah, just-
individual
yeah.
based on your life experience.
Exactly.
And I don't feel like we specifically need women to direct female-driven films, but I
Right.
do think it's nice when there are so few spots in Los Angeles and Hollywood
Just for big films?
for major films, and very few of them go to women for them to be like, hey, this is a great opportunity for something with a female narrative to get a woman involved. Like I loved when Michelle McLaren was on the project. I love Patty Jenkins being on the project.
I don't think there was ever a guy attached to direct it.
No.
It was always a girl, which was great. But what a lot of people don't know, you guys probably don't know either, for television, women directors are huge. I mean, the ratio is so much better. Like a lot of the projects...
I mean,
Shonda
not-
Rhimes, like,
yeah.
a lot of the projects that I've
Not
worked on,
as
it's been a
big.
female directors.
Yeah. There's still less.
Oh, yes.
But
yes.
the
It's
ratio
just like-
is better.
It's better
Yeah.
than it was before.
And that's where Michelle McLaren comes from.
So I just think I don't even think the sexuality will be a issue, kind of like the whole Star Trek. We had to make Sulu gay, and we had to have that shot of him, which served the story not at all.
Yeah.
You didn't have to draw attention to it. You could have just let it be and
Yeah.
done that naturally, but because they draw attention to it.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get drawn attention to anything. There might be hints at it,
I mean, clearly,
and that's the way to go, my opinion.
No, I agree. And clearly, obviously, in this Wonder Woman movie, we're gonna have Steve and Diana obviously fall in love at one point.
Right.
Maybe it won't work out. Maybe it will. You never know. It's just, again, I don't feel the need to be like, yes, find,
Okay.
a Stephanie instead of a Steven and make it work. Like, again, I'm all for it. I don't care. It's not necessary. I'm not gonna protest
you.
about it. I just think, hey, if you want to throw it in there, I'm all for it.
All right.
Another thing to be excited about.
That's the segue?
Yeah. I was helping you out.
I'm glad you did that because I was struggling. I was just going to say, I don't know. I was going to go on. Speaking of love stories, The Crow is a fantastic love story. Have you ever read the comic?
You didn't like my...
Oh, I saw.
I
where
liked your
I saw what you were
instead.
going. I saw what
I
you were
loved
doing.
it.
No, I never read the comic. I do
never
know
did?
a little bit of the story though.
Oh, it's great.
But it is
It's
really great.
I've seen the
Brandon Lee.
the other movie.
It is
when it came out.
It's a fantastic love story. It's the story of the Crow. We're mentioning this because Jason Momoa has been. This is a film that has been in not turmoil. What's the word? Limbo, up and down, over about for years. Okay, all right. We'll call on that one.
Yeah.
But they finally got Jason Momoa to get on board. He's going to be the Crow, beginning filming in January.
So post JL.
Yeah, but pre-Aquaman,
Yeah.
which is weird. But I don't think a movie like The Crow is going to be filming for very long.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, so
What's the budget on it? Do you have any idea?
I have no idea.
I'm sure it's nowadays. I mean, a movie like that normally would have been. I don't know what this is, so you tell everyone that's listening and watching. Help me with this, with the cacaw.
Isn't that what a crow sounds like?
No, you're correct.
But we're talking about the Crow. I thought you were looking. What?
Well, I was just making noise so that he could get seated.
That's what you were doing with that? That's what was. That's what was going on there. The cacawing.
It was the special call.
Now I got it. Now I
DC
got
mating
it.
call?
Did it work?
I think so.
Ask the chat room. Did it work?
Oh, hey, look at that.
Hello, everyone. Mikey, you look good by yourself. I've never seen you like solo on the race.
I
had big I will make it rain. I will make it
Johnny.
hair.
Girl,
Hey,
your hair looks
focus.
amazing.
Yeah.
And
There
Roxy,
he is,
you too.
back from his Booster Gold meetings
Yeah.
and the connective tissue that's been causing the problem.
I got good news, guys. It's happening.
If you had to guess what we were talking about by my noise,
God.
because
Can
maybe I was
I-
also segueing. I was letting him know
I'm
what
just
subject.
gonna guess that you're talking about how Jason Momoa is jumping out of the water and into the makeup for the Crow.
See,
Yeah.
so instead of having to be like, Johnny, what we're talking about, I made the noise.
Yep.
It covered the noise of him coming in, and he also knew where we were in the rundown.
I was with you.
Pure genius.
Don't forget, I also am very good with code words. We all know this.
And signals,
true.
animal signals.
Signals, I can hear things. I whisper to dogs.
So
many
instead of the bat signal, like for that, you could just cacaw, and Johnny will just arrive.
Oh.
I actually feel like I've actually gotten really good at it.
You have.
too.
No.
Like,
How are we
as
doing so
time's
far?
gone on.
How's it going?
Doing good.
Fantastic.
Is that your?
You
that
missed-
sounded like your comedian voice. How's it going?
Oh,
kids?
sorry.
You
Oh,
missed a
good.
terrible Australian accent. You missed us talking about bisexualism.
Yeah, I went on a rant.
Oh,
You
with
missed
Wonder
it.
Woman being bisexual?
Yeah. And
Who did the accent?
I did.
Ooh, okay.
Roxy set me up, and I had to knock
I
it
thought
down.
he did a pretty good job at first.
Nice.
At first, yeah, and then it became
And
Michael
then it
Caine.
went in, yeah, you know, when he goes into his Michael Caine, he
Which
can't
is
help it.
fine.
I liked Michael Caine.
If everything
I thought
turned into
that's
Michael
my
Caine.
favorite. Anytime.
But I watched the Dark Knight trilogy the other day, like all three of them in a row. And
I just got them
my
again,
God, is he
DVDs.
so good in those movies? But every
so
line,
good.
I was imitating him. Every single line, I was just doing the
As
whole
you
movie.
should.
Uh,
That makes me so happy.
All right.
Oh god.
just break it back with the full.
So we're talking about The Crow. We got there. And
Yeah,
then
we covered The Crow. We didn't really know much to talk about.
No, not a ton.
Let's jump into 7 villaons. Deathstroke, 6 villains.
You added one.
Come on, buddy.
Did you have an additional one you wanted
Yes,
to
of
talk about?
course. Come on, now it's me.
Oh.
Oh, could work for
Dang.
Deathstroke. So this article by Cinema Blend mentions the 6 villains that Deathstroke, because usually Deathstroke is an assassin for hire. So there's got to be someone pulling his strings, paying him. We don't know. We do not know. So does anyone want to list off those that has a
I got 'em.
electronic device?
You go for it.
The possible villains. I mean, this is according to Cinema Blend, as you said. Penguin.
Caw-caw.
That's exactly.
He's
exactly
the
what he-
penguins don't do that. Like if you were to tell you, how's that? Is that better?
This is happening.
Okay, I'll try to be better with my noises now.
Someone turn that into a GIF when Mikey just did.
just waddling around.
Yes, please, for all of us.
Oh Lord.
Penguin, Black Mask,
Okay.
Ra's al Ghul, Court of Owls, Hugo Strange, and Hush.
It seems to me. Do you guys know anyone on Cinema Blend that works or that is a writer for them or anything like that?
You're about to insult them. So
I'm not going to insult at all.
boy.
They are a film site. I
boy.
think those people do not have someone that is a DC person on their panel.
Right, meaning knowing the history
Because
of
Ra's al Ghul, they would never
Nope.
throw in
Right.
there.
Nope.
What was the last one?
Hush.
Hush doesn't hire someone to
Yep.
go after someone like
Yep.
that.
So how do you think that they figure these out? They'll like do a quick Google search.
Of
or?
Batman villains. I think Penguin, depending on how he is in the
I
story,
was gonna
Penguin
say.
I could see
I was
totally.
gonna say out of
Absolutely.
the entire list, I was gonna say
Black Mask
What was the other
works
one?
very
Court
good.
of Owls.
Court of
but
Owls.
the Court of Owls has
They
their
don't
own
need
assassins.
Yeah, I was like,
they
they
have
don't
their
need
talents.
Deathstroke.
Oh, Black Mask. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
I,
I,
see
don't
what
know.
You're saying.
I still think Penguin at least out of the list seems more.
Yeah.
So you're saying we would see a new Penguin? We're not going to see the Gotham Penguin.
No.
No.
God, no.
Different time periods,
Right.
different Earths,
That's another massive casting right there.
different.
I think the Penguin, if he's introduced in these films, needs to be not even a main character, like just an arms dealer that runs the Iceberg Lounge that's always there.
Sure.
Not the central. I'm trying to think of a character in the films that we've seen so far.
A lot of people. in the
Kind of
chat-
like a Nick Fury in the Marvel Universe. Not,
I feel like
not his.
everybody's go-to when they're describing what they want, like a Nick Fury in the Marvel universe. Amanda Waller should be like a Nick Fury in the Marvel
Because
universe.
it's true.
Every single.
because that's
Every single one.
That's all
Yeah.
that we have that I
Which
can
I think
think of.
Amanda Waller is scary.
I don't know the Harry Potter
Nick
films
Fury.
well enough to use a Harry Potter reference, or I could.
What's her
Okay,
face?
no, the Penguin should be like Q in the James Bond films. There, something new.
Ah.
Just always there.
Do you want to know a true story about me?
Oh God, is this gonna be? Am I gonna love you even more for
No,
this?
you're gonna hate me so much.
You've never seen. I know what you're gonna say right now. You're gonna say you've never seen a James Bond movie, and I'm not even gonna look at you
I
for the
don't
rest
think
of the
I
show.
was. I
Not
think it was-
one.
I'm not gonna look at you for the rest of the show.
Seen,
I'm
Really?
not going
I've
to.
never seen a single James Bond movie.
Not even the new ones.
Hold on,
Nothing.
I'm gonna pull a Kramer from Seinfeld, and I'm gonna look at you real quick.
Oh boy.
And break my
I'll
rule.
I'll be over here.
Is this because, and you are not the first, but it has always been women, and they say, and I'm not saying this, they go, Bond always seemed very sexist, misogynistic.
Oh no, it has nothing to do with that.
Okay, but I find a lot nowadays women
How
don't.
would I know if he's sexist or misogynist? I've never seen a movie. Is he
Because-
sexist and misogynist?
Well, Bond came from Bond. The Craig films are a different animal. Bond films before, even in the books, Bond. was-
Marissa, will you hit that button that's like the host from Wander Off Topic?
No, I mean, you're kind of on it.
Okay, but okay, we're fine. I'm not looking to look at you the rest of the show.
Cuckoo.
I can't believe you've never seen a James Bond film.
Yeah.
What's your...
Oh, that was a shocked. That was a shocked. Like,
Yes,
oh my god,
that's
how
the-
dare you?
That's you get a Robert De
I
Niro
know.
for that. You get a oh.
I know. I would like to. You want to watch the first one with me?
There's 22
there's-
of them,
there's a
or
lot of
23 of
So
them.
not the first
Lot
one
of them.
ever. I'm saying my first one.
Sure. We'll start with Casino Royale. We'll
There you
start you with a
go.
good
I
one.
don't know
Casino
how to
Royale.
start.
I didn't. I mean,
So
Casino
this
Royale.
started off with being Q from James Bond. So now let's bring it all back.
Yes. Meaning the Penguin should always be there. Almost every film, the Penguin should kind of be like a source of information. He goes into the club, busts up his bouncers, throws them against the wall, asks
Do you think
information.
he's the best choice, or do you feel like you have somebody else who you think could have hired Deathstroke that'd be a better choice?
I don't
Amanda
know.
Waller.
I think Waller's great.
I think Amanda Waller. That should have
I was
been
going to say Black
first.
Mask, but Amanda
I mean,
Waller.
but like Black Mask is that's the first thing I would
Woman.
think of. But I think Amanda
That's-
Waller would be
I-
better.
Give her victory stories on that. I didn't even think of that. Amanda Waller is fantastic because Bruce Wayne at the end knows he's like, shut the squad down or I'm going to do it for you.
Yeah.
And now she's going to, oh, you okay? I'm going to, all right, you got the cards. But behind the
Yeah.
scenes, she's like, kill this
Oh,
MFer.
wow.
That's fucking good.
I think that
and
that's
it's
something
all
that
in the
she
universe.
would
We
do.
don't need to introduce another character.
I mean,
Good
because
for
in my brain, I was thinking of like,
like her.
with
I love
Justice
that
League,
answer.
with Justice League Unlimited bringing or Justice League where you bring in Amanda Waller and she's always fighting with everybody
Yes.
to a point,
Oh.
and then she's like, I already have my own agenda. You can suck it. like,
That's so
I don't
good.
know.
That's fantastic.
That's me though.
That's
I mean,
great.
do you think? So you're saying you don't really think any of these make a ton of sense? I mean,
Except for Penguin.
Well,
And
didn't
Black
we
Mask.
heard the talk that Black Mask.
I think
Remember that is that Reddit leak we talked about last week, where Black Mask is going forward with the Batman film. Johnny, real quick, we talked about back with J.K. Simmons' Justice League talk, how he just wrapped, but he said the others are still filming.
Yeah.
That leads us back to, remember they said Deathstroke is the Batman villain?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if Justice League is still filming, they were on set with that costume.
oh yeah, he's part of. We said it
Okay.
last week.
Okay.
He's absolutely.
Just want to
good.
get your
All right,
confirmation
we have
on that.
to move forward.
Move
though,
on.
we don't have
Look,
Where we
after
going?
this meeting, I just had yeah, he will be in Justice League.
Okay, options to play Green Arrow on the big screen. This is, I think, kind of another one of those.
Matt Damon, Matt Damon, Matt Damon, Matt Damon, and Matt Damon.
really
We talked a little bit last week about who Matt Damon would play.
Damon.
Matt Damon. They wanted him for, Hush and this and that. I think the only way, because they're such great friends, it works is have him be
Yeah.
Oliver Queen.
Charlie Hunnam would be great too, actually.
I know
okay,
people
you
like
can't put what is his face from
Stellan
Men in
Skarsgård.
Tights?
Carrie
Robert,
Elwes.
You can't
Yeah,
I love
love
him. I love him so much.
Carrie
you
Elwes
can't put him.
20 years ago.
Yes.
I realized that Robin and then Robin Wright and then Princess. It's all connected.
I just
Yeah.
think people sometimes
Carrie.
they make lists by
No, it makes sense. I was just like, no, don't put him. No.
Charlie
I love Carrie
Hunnam.
Elwes, but
I've
no.
never been a fan of his. I know on
Did you watch?
Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
I did not. I saw him in
think
Pacific
he would
Rim
be
was
good.
my first interaction with him.
He is
wow.
so good in
He
Sons
is.
of
But
Anarchy.
but is
Like,
this
sickeningly
Is
good.
this, we've talked about it before? Is this the trope of this actor was just perfect in this role, was fantastic, but now when he's in other things, it just doesn't
I don't
he was
think
not
so.
good in Pacific Rim.
I do not think so.
He was not good in that film.
I do think he has a slight problem with his accent, though.
Yes, I think he needs to work on that.
Well, another guy on the list, Scott Eastwood.
No,
Not
he's
possible.
he's in the universe.
Yeah.
He's
Not
dead.
possible.
He had his chance. He
That
should
would
have
be
fought.
quite the twist.
He
Okay,
should have
what?
fought harder
You
for
just
that.
be seeing me in the theater, it's like twist.
Yeah.
I like the Stellan Skarsgård. Alexander Stellan. Alexander, the son. Alexander from.
Yeah.
I liked him from
Okay.
Tarzan. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Matt
I mean,
Damon.
he's just good looking.
Matt Damon, like that's the one, because they really don't have to have a ton of interaction, him and Batman together, but they could have that little scene together that would kind of, because they're such best friends, and I don't know.
People in the chat.
But again, at this time, there's no confirmation that he's appearing in any of these
Right,
films.
right.
Yeah.
I think this is just fan speculation.
I really hope, because people were talking in the chat about Nightwing, and they want Steven. I always have a hard time
Yeun.
saying his name, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
thank you.
from Walking Dead.
Yes, I want
Steven
him.
Yeun.
Yeah, I want him to be
I
Nightwing.
heard that. I don't know about this. Be interesting.
I would like it. I could totally see him bulked
He's
up and
so
ready to go.
talented, too.
Yeah. Well, because right now he did Voltron on Netflix, and he plays like this kind
Oh,
of like
does he?
broody character, and I'm like, yes, I want
Wow.
it to be.
And he may or may not have a place on Walking Dead anymore, depending on
yeah,
what
depending on what happens.
I mean, at this point, doesn't everyone have to go at some? Yeah, pretty soon.
Who knows?
Except for Daryl.
Those are
Daryl
always just
doesn't
fun.
die.
Recently, Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill were at a convention talking,
As usual.
and they let up some swerve out.
Yeah.
They were asking them about more of those movies because
I
they
don't
just
know if
did
you
Killing
used
Joke.
that correct. I don't know if you can let Swerve out.
I mean,
I think they did because I think from the people I read a couple.
If Johnny lets it fly, I let it fly.
let's just
Right,
let it.
you let me let it fly there, Johnny. All right.
Let it fly.
All right.
I got a quote for you whenever you're ready.
Okay, because I think the way it happened was they were asking the two of them, and they were sitting next to each other, and they kind of like, "Oh, you want us to do more movies? Oh, what do you mean, like Hush?" And then Hamill goes, "Oh, or maybe like Death in the Family." kind
they
of
were trying
like
to be like passive aggressive, but not
yeah,
really.
but
that's
these
weird.
movies and what you guys might not know, the animation is done overseas and it's done a year or two before it's done, and they record
over that.
much released. It could be a year before it's released, and they've already done this. So there's a good chance they've already recorded these sessions, and they're messing with the fans. And I think because they've only announced Justice League Dark is the next slate, and they do 3 a year, that leaves 2 left. I'm betting that this is a great shot.
Well, the exact quote is Conroy turned to Hamill and he said, "What do you think about Hush? Naturally, this produced some oohs and ahs from the audience. However, the crowd went absolutely wild when Hamill then followed up and asked Conroy, well, what do you think about a death in the family?"
You see, I think
I would
there's
get
an
chills
swerve
if I
there.
was
I think.
there.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
I could.
Yeah, I think they're having fun. I think they know what's going on. They can't say it; they're not allowed. But that's telling them in a non-direct way.
I mean, I would be super excited
and I think
if they did those.
I know
two.
everyone. I know you guys out there. We've talked on Twitter that you guys would want a Hush film.
Everybody
Hush-
like
has
actual
that.
live action or
Yes,
animated.
Yeah.
live action. And I've
Well,
always
actually,
said
that's not true, 'cause I wouldn't-
don't think it'll work because
It's weird.
I think you will have what happened with Civil War, where it's a great film, but if you read the Civil War comics, you're just like, oh, you didn't scratch the surface.
Nope.
And Hush, what makes it great with Batman is going against all these villains of bringing, Harold into it. So if you don't know who Harold is, he was a mechanic that was kind of mentally challenged that worked with Batman, and there's Clayface and the whole history with the Elliots. It is so involved in the history of Batman.
Yeah, I mean, Hush is one
That
of my
animated,
favorites
you could
next
get
to
away with
Killing
it.
Joke.
Animated, you could get away with it. But live action, we've got the established universe.
Well, I hope that they would do an animated then a live action.
But
That
I
would
think
be great.
animated with unlimited
Test it out.
budget
Yeah.
is golden.
No, it's gonna be. It will be really good.
so good.
But because Hush is one of my
Yes.
top 10 favorite
It
comics
is
of all time.
and
but
it's fairly new.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone always talks about Dark Knight Returns, Killing
Well,
Joke, Year One, and this
yeah.
Hush came out 2002.
Two, yeah.
So it's fairly new in the comic book lexicon.
New.
Guys, I want to get to my favorite piece of news
Yes,
this
please,
week.
please.
I don't know why it's my favorite because it was kind of a low blow. But can I just read the quote to you guys? This is coming from our...
Read it in his voice.
No, I can't do Stanley voice.
Excelsior!
I can't
See,
do
when
it.
I created Spider-Man in
Okay,
1963.
Okay.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Come on, do it.
believe
You're
you.
Jewish.
I want to do more cameos also. I've let people know it doesn't have to be Marvel movies. I don't know why DC hasn't called me. They could use me. Is that good?
Yeah.
I love that.
Give it up!
I'll be here all
That-
week.
Now,
That's
Stanley's
better.
Jewish, right? I'm hoping he's Jewish that I said that. and
That's why I was like,
I don't know.
I think he is.
Is he part of the tribe?
He grew up in New York in the 60s, 30s,
kind
40s with
of
all those
a
guys,
logo.
Jerry Schuster and Joe
I have
Siegel and all
no
those guys. I
idea.
think they were.
I didn't even hear Mikey's Australian, but I liked your Stanley.
Hers
better.
is-
Thank you so much.
But you gotta do
Johnny.
Excelsior now, go. Excelsior!
Excelsior.
there you
Ooh.
go. I like
I like
that.
that he says, I don't know why DC hasn't called me. They could use me. It's like a little
That was a little
dig.
jab.
Yeah.
That was a little jab.
Well,
at
he's always
DC
like,
movies.
you know what makes a great Marvel film? Me. That's his thing.
At
Do
the
you
same
think-
time, once you reach a certain age, you can essentially say whatever you
No,
want.
he is old.
You're 93 years old. You have
Old.
full reign
Was
to
he
do
in-
whatever you want.
Civil War?
Yeah. He
Oh,
was.
yeah.
He was.
Yeah,
he
he's
was
in-
I got a message from Tony Stank.
Yeah.
Tony Stank.
That was great.
All right, we got to move on to what's the best air time of the show.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But I love looking forward to it, even though I'm not looking at it right now. What time is it?
It's time for Roxy Striar's TV time. Roxy Striar's TV time. She thinks that the Flash is fun. DC movie news, it's time to talk. TV time!
Excelsior.
We only really have a minute to talk about this.
Go fast.
You guys will have to do a little outside research yourself, but Legend of Tomorrow Season 2 photos were released.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You thought awesome? I
was in the
Albert
middle.
Einstein was in
but,
one of them,
I
wasn't he?
thought it was awesome that they finally put them out, but I was very confused by the pictures. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like, huh?
I just am holding. I don't know what this season is going to look like.
Yeah,
at all.
that was-
I really have no
We
idea.
had,
what
we
it's
had
gonna
feudal
look like.
Japan. We've got Albert Einstein in
Right,
one of the
so
pictures.
I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm down. I'd love to travel around a little more. Let's go
Yes,
different places, different times. Let's get funky with it. Come to get
Let's
funky,
get
funky.
Yeah,
funky.
I was thinking of the
To
same
the
thing.
left.
I looked at you, damn.
To the back. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys
One
know
up, let's
Carlos,
go.
who plays Cisco. On comicbook.com, he was talking a lot more about how how Flashpoint's going to change his character and what Cisco's
that's
going to
right.
look like for season 3.
Yay.
So make sure you check that out. Sounds like there's going
I'm
to be
so
a lot
happy
of
for
ups
him.
and downs. He's so talented.
It's just-
I want him in
He's
the
my
musical
favorite.
episode so hard.
I know.
Oh my god! I just want him in the musical episode to come right now.
Ooh.
And then Tyler, who was cast as Superman, you guys know, was kind of complaining about how challenging it was to fly. And how it was
You're
really
Superman.
difficult to learn
You
how
got
to fly.
cast as Superman. You shut your mouth and you put your time in that harness and you do it.
You gotta do
He
it,
wasn't
buddy. You
actually
gotta.
complaining, but he's like, it was really tough. Like,
Hey, buddy. You
You
gotta.
don't see Henry
gotta get
Cavill
with it.
complaining.
Yeah.
it just kind of made me giggle. Like, you got cast as Superman, and that's the first thing I've heard that you said, that, like, flying was very challenging. How about, like, flying was sick? I love this role. Like, it was really
It's a
tough.
lot of
I mean,
harnesses.
I was gonna
It's
say
harnesses
it was probably,
cinched into
it probably
places
didn't-
that.
Yeah, I was like, it probably wasn't very graceful, like not like a gazelle at all. It was
I'm
just kind of
sure.
like awkwardly.
One thing-
I don't want to hear you talk about it
I
being hard
gotcha.
to
Well,
fly.
but you have to. But Roxy, you being a host, interviewing people, he probably got asked that question. He was kind of like, "Well, I'm on the spot. I got to talk. I
You
can't just
think
say."
he got asked, is flying
No,
challenging?
like what was challenging about? What did you find about stepping into an iconic role? What was the biggest thing that you had a problem with? What was the hardest? Like, well, that harness
I
was
wanted
up
him
my
to say-
junk the whole time.
I
so
wanted
this.
him to say, what was the hardest thing? You know, just stepping into such an iconic role and
But
doing all my
everyone
research.
says that.
Yeah, but just say that and shut up about flying, man. You have to fly.
So if
I mean, yeah, that is.
I
kinda
want you to
true.
interview him for something, I want you to ask him about this. I want it to come back
You know
full
what
circle.
grinds my gears? I'm Roxy Striar, and I hate that you don't like to fly.
You do? What do you? How do you?
How do you
fly?
feel about this?
You know what really
Roxy
grinds
Striar,
my
AfterBuzz
gears?
TV.
You know what really grinds my gears?
All right.
You and your flying.
we gotta go.
Yeah, we got to go. Real quick,
gotta
they
go.
talked about how difficult it was to get Superman, and they said it wasn't difficult. They went to
Oh.
WB. They said, we're one big family. We said, these are our ideas, and they backed it. It was no give and pull, like you can't say this, you can do this with him. They were very much open the doors to them.
I think that they've opened the doors a little more because the TV shows are successful and the movies monetarily,
You watch that tongue right now.
are not doing well in the critics'
just-
eyes.
And then, Suicide Squad just joined one of the only films to break.
Critics' eyes. Critics.
Okay, all right.
I said
fair
critics.
enough.
Fair
I wasn't
enough.
looking at you.
Well, let's all put ourselves over, I guess, right?
There he goes.
Hey!
I bungled that at the
He
beginning.
opened the show and he said, "Throw yourself over," and I said, "That's not it. I don't think that's
And they call
it."
me Fun Dad.
Yeah.
My
You
God.
fun, Dad.
Well, I know.
Throw yourself over.
Mikey's definitely my fun
You throw
dad
yourself
brother.
over, Johnny.
Throw yourself over, Johnny. Throw it over the top
okay.
turnbuckle.
At Jay Quasto, as of this morning, I am officially Twitter verified. How about that?
Hey,
Congratulations.
Woke up to an email and I'm like, well,
How do you get
Johnny's
Twitter
good.
verified?
I don't
Did you
know.
do it through the website? Or do you have your
just-
manager do it?
I don't have a manager. I don't know. I just
Yes, you do.
no, I don't. Not really.
Boy.
What?
It just happened. Anyway, I'm in Chicago this weekend doing comedy, so if anyone is anywhere near Chicago, hit me up. I'd love to see you. That'll be a lot of fun. And come out to a show. It'd be great to hang out.
Do
so,
it.
Other than that, at Jay Quasto, and that's all I got right now. I'll have boom.
Cool.
See you next week.
Alexis.
Thanks guys for having me back
Of
again.
course, thank you for that
Always- it's
fantastic.
always nice to
We
be
love
input.
you. We love you.
Thanks,
Love the input.
guys. Yeah, I would need to be here more often. I gotta try.
Yeah.
But you can find me just for Roxy, where all Alexis Torres are sold at atorres890. Check
they
out my
sold?
YouTube channel.
Where can we buy one?
All over. You can find. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/atorres890 or PS890. I do random stuff there. I do a thing every Wednesday called Hump Day Lunch Hour. I talk on my lunch hour about topics. We actually just talked about what was it? Getting engaged. So there was that. And
She just did.
I know that.
and things like that. But we talk more about it as time goes on. So you can find more stuff there or talk to me about superhero stuff. That'd be awesome.
Guys, I'm Roxy Striar. You can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar. I'm currently arguing with somebody in the chat who told me I need to hush. You need to hush.
Yeah.
Wait,
Why do you
mean
gotta
that
hush?
You gotta be in hush?
No, they say that. I think they just don't like me.
Oh, well, get out of here.
Hush.
How could
She's
they not?
awesome.
How could they not like you after Stan Lee there?
Everybody-
Excelsior!
Yeah, get out.
Everybody's favorite thing that I've done on the show so far, I've
Stan
gotten
Lee?
hundreds of tweets about. Everybody's favorite thing was last week I told somebody in the chat who was bothering me to suck my dick.
Yeah. That's my
And that
favorite.
apparently is the best thing I've done
And I
ever on
missed
DC
it?
Movie News.
But you've done it
You didn't
before.
say that out loud, did you? You
yeah.
tweeted it?
I mean, she just did it right
Where
now.
was
Yeah.
I?
I don't know.
But you've done it.
Maybe it was 2 weeks
You've
ago.
done it on a number
2
of
weeks
occasions,
ago.
and it always goes over well with me.
You tell the
Love
people
it.
to
That
suck
was
your
great. I'm
D?
so sad I missed that.
That's what I said.
Look, if a troll pops in chat roll, Roxy is gonna say S my D.
That's my D.
And you're gonna
Anyway,
earn
That's my D.
where can they find you, Mikey Christmas?
I can't follow that one.
Yes,
Nope.
You can do it.
Find me at Mike Kalinowski.
See, you're much better than I am. I usually say my imaginary D
Oh.
for funsies.
I think they probably want to picture Roxy with one.
Anyway, bye guys.
On that note, Excelsior!
Love you all.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.